Hello, classmates and teacher. In this exam podcast, we will be talking about the topic self-love and the good love in relationships. What is self-love for you, Anna?
Well, I define self love as a never ending process and also as something related with growth. And I'm not necessarily talking about our hate, I'm talking about our personality and maybe the way we look or how we take care of our body in order to feel comfortable or on how we look and how we act. Working on our self esteem is hard, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Also, we need to know that there's a big difference between having self esteem and having a big ego.
It's a very nice way to describe it.
For me, self love is a process that you do through your life so as not to compare yourself with others. To love yourself the way we were born, from physically to our personality, our way to acting, is a very difficult process that I think you can never finish. There is always a very small thing about you that you don't like it at all, and I think the source of it being so difficult is the stereotypes, the gender roles, and the fake beauty that we see in all the media.
That's true. Well, now we will say a definition of the Encyclopedia of Concepts. They describe it as in general, self love is understood as the result of various processes of introspection and the acceptance and deep levels, that is, as a result of knowing and loving oneself.
Without the need to change one's nature to satisfy others, something that, on the other hand, cannot really be done either. So you may ask, how do we work daily in our self love?
Well, I usually do some exercise and try to wash my face in the morning and before going to sleep. And you? How do you work on your self love, Fer?
Well, every day in the morning, I look in the mirror and tell myself what I like about me. I eat healthy and try to do activities that I love and am passionate about it.
That's a beautiful way to work on your self love. And well, we're gonna give you some more tips on how to work your self love. Um, you can have more personal identity, not comparing yourself to other people. Look for the things that make you unique. Do not follow unreal standards and surround yourself with people that contribute beautiful things.
Yeah, you can also don't let criticisms matter to you. Do not criticize other people also and do what you love without affecting others.
Now, changing a little bit, I'd like to say that it's very important to work on our self love before loving anyone else. And this is because if we don't do that, we may harm others. And unfortunately, it's something very common nowadays because we think we're capable of loving others without loving ourselves, and as a consequence, we may have problems with our couples. For me, having a healthy relationship means that both need to know how to talk and how to listen. Having affective responsibility is also very important, and to know when to stop doing some things that may affect your couple to put limits to. And for you, Fer?
Well, I believe that love as a healthy couple should be based on the fact that the two people have a serious conversation of how they feel, rationalize, and understand love. I think should also always be understood that even though they are now a team, they are two totally different and separate independent people who also always have respect for any belief, thought, argument, or position of the other person. For example, in a past relationship I had, he didn't have the same stance as I did on feminism. I am part of the movement, and he hated it. But when I talked to him about it, he just evaded and it never tried to listen or open his mind. Clearly, that's why we ended up. Because how are you not going to listen to a person you love what he has to say? Another relationship full of red flags that I had was when I began to realize that he controlled me, but through emotional extortion. For example, love, I am going to go to a party, and he said, but it's Saturday, we're always together, I'm going to feel lonely and I'm going to get sad. Another example is when we met for a date and he never came up. And I was texting him and asking him why he didn't came up. And he always answered something like, I had a lot of hunger and gave me a stress crisis and I started crying and other excuses. And yes, I believed everything. But have you had similar experience, Anna?
That was so sad, Fer. I'm really sorry for you. And answering to your question, yes. Well, one of my biggest bad experiences was that my ex always wanted to talk about her problems and her concerns, and she never listened to me. She always put my problems aside and didn't care about them. That's why we ended up. And well, with another ex, she was very manipulative and he cheated on me. I don't know how many times.
Oh
He
my god.
always was lying about where he was and what was he doing. But also, he was very jealous about nothing, and he was always trying to take control over me. That obviously made me feel bad for a long time. But yeah, we both had lived many red flags.
Mhm.
But other examples could be frequently lying, a partner that is frequently criticizing you or putting you down, and not having affective responsibility too.
Yeah, also a tendency to run away from difficult discussions, controlling behavior and excessive jealousy, a lack of healthy open communication. But hey, to finish the podcast, we will give our conclusions. I believe that we must take care of all of relationships, starting ourselves, with our family, friends, partner, and also we can have a very harmony in our mind. What would you say?
Well, I totally agree with you. And as you just said, we need to start from ourselves. So in the future, we'll know when to say goodbye to someone that it's bad for us, no matter if it's a friend or if it's our partner. We need to start from ourselves so we can love others and to know how to put limits.
Yeah, you're right. And I hope that this little podcast slash exam can open your mind a little bit about how you are carrying your relationships and how your mind treats yourself and your body.
Yeah, it's very important to work on ourselves and to feel, in order to feel good with us, and yeah, to try to improve our relationships in all the ways.
Yeah, that's an excellent close. And this is the end of our podcast. I hope you didn't get bored.
And I hope you like it.